Chapter 3045. Tian Meng had become more and more impatient with Bailey Hongzhuang. The little bit of good impression she had of Bailey Hongzhuang had completely disappeared when she knew that she was a poor ghost. At this moment, seeing that Bailey Hongzhuang was so poor that she could only use her own things to exchange for spirit stones, she felt even more disgusted. She simply could not understand. Since Bailey Hongzhuang was already so poor, why did she continue to stay in the Devil Training Tower? She was simply seeking her own death. When Bailey Hongzhuang saw Sweet Dream's attitude, a trace of displeasure flashed through her inky black phoenix eyes. Her voice also became colder. "Miss, selling things on consignment is a right that all cultivators in the Devil Training Tower enjoy. I'm willing to sell things here, so you don't have the right to refuse, do you?" A cold and icy voice slowly came out of Bailey Hongzhuang's mouth. Her dark eyes flashed with a cold light, without the slightest bit of warmth. Sweet Dream raised her head and noticed Bailey Hongzhuang's cold gaze. Her heart couldn't help but tremble as a chill rose from the bottom of her feet. She had never seen Bailey Hongzhuang like this before. Before, Bailey Hongzhuang had always been very easy to talk to. Even if her words were filled with disdain, Bailey Hongzhuang had never revealed any dissatisfaction. But now, Bailey Hongzhuang's expression made her understand that it wasn't that she couldn't get angry. At the very least, her actions today had angered her. "Help me write down that the first 3 sets of medicine will be free. If they still can't be sold after a week, I'll naturally take them away." Bailey Hongzhuang coldly glanced at Sweet Dream, then turned around and left the counter. She had no interest in others relying on their master's power, but Sweet Dream's actions had already touched her bottom line. She had originally planned to ignore it, but she never thought that Sweet Dream would push her luck. Naturally, she wouldn't be polite. Sweet Dream stared blankly at Bailey Hongzhuang's back as she left. Her mind was still replaying the scene of Bailey Hongzhuang's soul-stirring gaze. Her heart was filled with shock. She suddenly felt that her previous opinion of Bailey Hongzhuang might have been wrong. That gaze was truly frightening. Even from experts stronger than Bailey Hongzhuang, she had never felt such a gaze. She swallowed a mouthful of saliva, then announced Bailey Hongzhuang's request. Although she still believed that Bailey Hongzhuang's medicine could not be sold, Sweet Dream was truly worried that if she didn't do as Bailey Hongzhuang said, Bailey Hongzhuang might take her life. "Master, why is no one interested in your healing medicine?" A look of disbelief flashed across Xiao Hei's face. The medicine that its master concocted had always been treasures that everyone would fight over. Who would have thought that no one would show any interest in the Devil Training Tower? The drop in its heart was really not ordinary. This place is not like the outside world. No one knows Master's true identity, so it's not strange for this to happen. Xiao Bai's eyes turned, then looked at Bailey Hongzhuang and said, "Master, why don't you go directly to the doctor's residence?" Chapter 3046. It's true that I can live there, but Beichen and the rest can't go with me. Since that's the case, I might as well stay here. Bailey Hongzhuang shrugged her shoulders. She had thought about this before, but the 4 of them were a team. How could she live upstairs by herself? Moreover, even if she lived on the 2nd floor, it wouldn't affect her at all. Hearing Bailey Hongzhuang's words, Xiao Hei and Xiao Bai immediately understood. They were only thinking about Bailey Hongzhuang's identity and forgot that normal cultivators were not allowed to enter the doctor's residential area. "Master is right. Why don't we just stay here?" Xiao Hei nodded. "I believe that as long as those people use Master's healing medicine, there will be people interested in it very soon." Bailey Hongzhuang smiled and patted Xiao Hei's little head. This girl was a complete chatterbox, but she was also a source of joy for her. As long as the healing medicine is effective, people will notice it sooner or later. It's just that our performance in the arena has been very famous recently. Everyone thinks that a poor person like me can't take out anything good. Bailey Hongzhuang joked. In fact, ever since she transmigrated to the present, other than the time when she was in the general's residence when she was poor, she had always been in a state of wealth. The current situation made her feel as if she had returned to the past. Xiao Yihan was in a very bad mood today. He had just participated in an arena competition and suffered some injuries. However, for some reason, whether it was healing medicine or healing elixirs, There were very few on sale recently. Moreover, they were usually sold out the moment they were released. He didn't notice that the healing elixirs in his Chinkuan bag were all gone. He went to the counter and asked around, but found that there were no elixirs and healing elixirs for sale. This made him feel very helpless. He still had an appointment with the others for a single elimination tournament tomorrow. If he couldn't recover from his injuries as soon as possible, he would definitely be at a disadvantage in the single elimination tournament tomorrow. This was something he didn't want to see. Unfortunately, he asked the person at the counter to ask the pharmacists and doctors, but there was no corresponding healing medicine for sale today. Why is there no healing medicine today? Help me ask again. I'd rather buy it at a high price. Xiao Yihan said angrily. Hearing Xiao Yihan's words, the woman at the counter could not help but shudder. Xiao Yihan was a cultivator from the 15th floor's arena area. His battle record had always been outstanding, and there was basically no one who dared to offend him. She was just an ordinary worker in the magic training tower. She couldn't bear Xiao Yihan's anger. Young Master Xiao, I have already gone over there to inquire. However, the alchemists and doctors did not offer any healing medicine today. There is nothing I can do, the woman said gently, forcing a smile on her face. However, Xiao Yihan completely ignored the woman's smile. He slammed his hand on the table and said angrily, I don't care about that. It's not like I don't have money. I can afford any price. You have to get the medicine for me. Otherwise, you'll have to deal with the consequences. Chapter 3047. Hearing Xiao Yihan's roar, the woman couldn't help but tremble. Panic quickly surged onto her face, and her eyes were filled with deep fear. Young Master Xiao, I really have no choice. The more the woman spoke, the softer her voice became, and the less confident she became. She was really worried that Xiao Yihan would take her life in a fit of anger. Just then, the woman suddenly discovered that there was news of a cultivator selling healing medicine on the second floor. Her eyes instantly lit up, and her heart was filled with excitement. Previously, she didn't take this news to heart at all. Now that she saw this news, it was as if she saw a life-saving straw. She immediately said to Xiao Yihan, Young Master Xiao, there are no healing medicines for sale in the alchemist and doctor area today. However, there is a cultivator selling healing medicines on the second floor. I wonder if this healing medicine is okay? The woman looked at Xiao Yihan tentatively. Although she also thought that the healing medicines sold by the cultivator on the second floor wouldn't have much effect, it was better than nothing. She only hoped that this news would be able to reduce Xiao Yihan's anger by a little. Hearing the woman's words, Xiao Yihan couldn't help but frown. This news still made him very dissatisfied, but at least it was better than nothing. The healing medicines sold by the cultivator on the second floor? Xiao Yihan raised his eyebrows and asked. His words were obviously filled with suspicion. The woman nodded. There are a total of 10 portions of healing medicine. The first 3 portions are free, but a cultivator has already taken one of them. There are 9 remaining, and the price is also very low. Am I the kind of person who cares about the price? Xiao Yihan asked back. No, that's not what I meant. The woman waved her hands and said. This is the healing medicine sold by the cultivator on the second floor, and the price is so low. One look and you can tell that the effect isn't too good. Xiao Yihan said slowly. Most of the cultivators on the second floor were poor people. It was obvious what kind of things these people could take out just by thinking about it. However, Xiao Yihan also understood that there were really no other healing medicines for sale. He was left with this choice. It was better than nothing. Then bring me the remaining 9 bottles of healing medicine. I'll buy them. Hearing Xiao Yihan's words, the woman felt as if she had been pardoned, and joy quickly appeared on her face. Young Master Xiao, please wait for a moment. I will immediately bring the medicine over and send it to your room. Xiao Yihan nodded. The anger on his face still hadn't dissipated. He turned around and went back into the house. At the very least, the effect of the healing medicine was much better than the wound healing itself. Bailey Hongzhuang was cultivating in her room when suddenly there was a knock on the door. Seeing this, Bailey Hongzhuang could not help but frown. Ever since she had started living here, more than a month had passed. Other than Xiren and Wenxinya, no one else had knocked on her door. At this time, Wen and Xiren should be placing their bets in the arena. As soon as she opened the door, Bailey Hongzhuang saw Sweet Dreams standing outside. Chapter 3048. Hearing Sweet Dreams' words, Bailey Hongzhuang nodded slightly, took the spirit stones and said, "Thank you." However, in the next second, without waiting for Sweet Dream to continue speaking, Bailey Hongzhuang directly closed the door. Sweet Dream stared blankly at the closed door in front of her, and the smile on her face suddenly froze. Knock knock. The knocking on the door sounded again, and Sweet Dream's face was full of unwillingness. According to her thoughts, the success of Bailey Hongzhuang's healing medicine had a lot to do with her. At least, it could be considered as solving Bailey Hongzhuang's urgent problem. But Bailey Hongzhuang actually just said a perfunctory thank you. She didn't see any gratitude at all. Bailey Hongzhuang opened the door and looked coldly at Sweet Dream in front of her, saying, "Is there anything else? Is there anything else?" Sweet Dream was startled. Her original anger and dissatisfaction were unable to flare up after seeing such a cold Bailey Hongzhuang. "I just want to remind you that your healing medicine was bought by Xiao Yihan from the 15th floor's arena area. He is quite famous in our demon training tower. If the effect of your healing medicine is not good enough, then you have to be careful when you see him in the future. It's best if you don't sell it again." After knowing that the person who bought the healing medicine was actually Xiao Yihan, Sweet Dream was also shocked. She originally thought that the person who bought the healing medicine was at most a cultivator on the 11th floor. After all, with Xiao Yihan's status and wealth, he wouldn't buy this kind of healing medicine. He completely looked down on it. This made Sweet Dream a little worried. Xiao Yihan was not a kind person. If the healing medicine's effect was poor and caused Xiao Yihan to be dissatisfied, then Bailey Hongzhuang shouldn't sell healing medicine in the future. Otherwise, if Xiao Yihan made a move, the one who would be unlucky would be Bailey Hongzhuang. Hearing Sweet Dream's words, Bailey Hongzhuang also understood. She did not expect that these healing medicines would all be bought by one person. However, the higher the status of the other party, the better it would be. She believed that as long as the other party knew the effects of her healing medicine, he would definitely be very interested in it. For Bailey Hongzhuang, the price of 5 spirit stones for a healing medicine was extremely low. But she didn't have any reputation, so it was very difficult for her to raise the price. That's why when she first sold it, the price was so low. "Then I'll have to trouble you not to reveal my card number," Bailey Hongzhuang said slowly. Hearing this, the smile in Sweet Dream's eyes deepened. This Bailey Hongzhuang was not ungrateful, at least she knew the importance of what she said. "When we sell things, we will only say which floor the seller is from and determine the price based on that. We will not reveal the seller's specific information. You can rest assured about this." "Oh." Bailey Hongzhuang's expression was still indifferent, and there was no change in her expression. "If there is someone who wants to buy my healing medicine in the future, please help me tell them that the price will be increased by 10 times. Bailey Hongzhuang did not think that this price was high. She also noticed that the healing medicines sold by the other doctors in the demon training tower were mostly priced between 30 to 40 spirit stones, while the healing pills were priced between 80 to 100 spirit stones. Chapter 3049. Of course, this was also due to the high price of the devil training tower. If it was any other place, the healing medicine would definitely not be sold at this price. However, at the same time, the price of medicinal ingredients in the devil training tower was also extremely high. Moreover, the commission for the items sold in the devil training tower was simply too high. A 40% commission was definitely impossible in the outside world. After hearing Bailey Hongzhuang's words, Sweet Dream could not help but widen her eyes. There was only one thought in her mind: Bailey Hongzhuang was crazy. 10 times the price? Are you sure? Sweet Dream exclaimed. Bailey Hongzhuang shook her head. No, if someone wants to buy it again, just tell them that. She believed that Xiao Yihan should be someone who knew the value of the medicine. As long as he used this healing medicine, he would discover that its effects were far better than ordinary healing medicine. Moreover, overall, the price of this healing medicine was more worth it than buying healing pills. No one would complain about having too many spirit stones, And the rich people were the same. You're simply dreaming. Sweet Dream looked at Bailey Hongzhuang in disbelief. Her face was faintly tinged with anger. She felt that Bailey Hongzhuang simply did not know what was good for her. You should be thanking the heavens and earth that these healing medicine can be sold. If you still want to use this to make a large sum of money, I can only tell you that it's simply impossible. Bailey Hongzhuang shrugged, completely ignoring Sweet Dream's anger. This woman had looked down on her from the beginning. It was normal for her to say such words at this moment. Whether it's possible or not is not up to you to decide. I said that if someone comes to buy it again, you should tell them that. You should understand this point, right? Seeing that Bailey Hongzhuang was still being stubborn, Sweet Dream was also angered. She immediately said, I understand. If someone asks, I will definitely clearly convey your request to them. However, you better not have too much hope. All right. Bailey Hongzhuang faintly left a word and closed the door again. Sweet Dream stared at the tightly shut door in front of her and fell into a daze. The anger in her heart rose. She had come to deliver a piece of good news to Bailey Hongzhuang, but she had been rejected twice. Bewitching looked at Bailey Hongzhuang and said, You seem to have a problem with that girl? A person who looks down on me. No matter what she does, she always thinks that she's giving me charity. But obviously, I don't need it. Bailey Hongzhuang raised her eyebrows, her ink-black phoenix eyes rippling with an indifferent light. If someone who lived on the upper floor told Sweet Dream the same thing at this moment, Sweet Dream would definitely nod and flatter them, but if it was a cultivator like her who lived on the second floor, Sweet Dream didn't believe it from the bottom of her heart. Because of this, the two of them were destined to hate each other. Bewitching nodded slightly. She has always had such an attitude, but how could she understand my wife's abilities? Bailey Hongzhuang smiled faintly. If my judgment is correct, it won't be long before our embarrassing situation improves. She was unwilling to refine pills to sell because it was too much of a waste of time. Spirit stones were only a means for her to increase her cultivation. If she wasted too much time in order to earn spirit stones, the gains would not make up for the losses. My wife is so amazing, I must reward her well. Chapter 30-50. Xiao Yihan originally didn't have any expectations for the healing medicine he bought. The price of these 10 portions was only comparable to 1 portion of the healing medicine prescribed by a doctor. Just by thinking about it, he knew how bad the effects of this healing medicine were. Unfortunately, he had no other choice but to buy the healing medicine in front of him. He had a faint guess in his heart. Logically speaking, even if the medicinal pills and healing medicine were always in high demand, they shouldn't have all been bought out. He felt that his opponent must have known that he had a battle today, so he purposely bought all the medicinal pills and healing medicine in order to prevent his injuries from recovering quickly. Since his opponent did it on purpose, he would naturally have discovered that there were people selling healing medicine on the second floor. However, he didn't buy them together, which showed that he also looked down on these healing medicine. Just by thinking about this, Xiao Yihan felt aggrieved. When had he ever fallen to such a state? There were still many wounds on his body that were bleeding. If the situation didn't improve tonight, he would lose to his opponent in terms of aura tomorrow. Going against his opponent in his best condition while injured would greatly increase the chances of failure. Xiao Yihan sighed, his gaze sinister and ruthless. His opponent tricked him, and he would definitely find a way to return the favor in the future. It was a pity that he had a lot of money to bet tomorrow. If he lost like this, it would be a huge loss. Xiao Yihan helplessly picked up the healing medicine that he just bought. He could only try his best now. Once he opened the bottle, Xiao Yihan smelled a faint fragrance that refreshed his heart. His gaze couldn't help but change a little. I didn't expect this healing medicine to be so ineffective, but it smells so good. His initial anger seemed to have dissipated after smelling this fragrance, and his mind returned to calmness. Xiao Yihan sprinkled the medicinal powder on his wound and was still considering how many bottles of this poorly effective healing medicine he should use in order to effectively heal his wound. However, the next scene stunned Xiao Yihan. Because when this healing medicine was sprinkled on his wounds, the bleeding stopped immediately. Xiao Yihan looked at it again in disbelief. Normal healing medicine had the same effect, but this healing medicine was so cheap. It was enough to surprise him that it could achieve this effect. Vaguely, he felt that the speed of this healing medicine was much faster than the healing medicine he used before, but he didn't pay much attention to it just now, so he couldn't make a clear judgment. If Xiao Yihan was already very surprised by this point, then what happened next made him even more surprised. After stopping the bleeding, he found that his wound was slowly forming a scab. According to this situation, it wouldn't take long for his external wounds to completely heal. As for some of the bigger wounds, as long as he sprinkled more healing medicine, the wounds would slowly heal. This slowness was already considered fast in Xiao Yihan's eyes. This kind of speed, even if he used healing medicinal pills, he might not be able to catch up. At this moment, Xiao Yihan immediately realized that the healing medicine he bought was not useless. On the contrary, he had picked up a treasure. Chapter 3051. In this devil training tower, it was common for cultivators to get injured. It was because of this that the demand for healing pills and medicine always exceeded the supply. The alchemists and doctors who lived in the devil training tower were a group of crafty old fellows. They could produce quite a lot of medicine every day, but they seemed to have discussed it beforehand and only took out a little each time. As a result, it was fine if the price of the medicine was high, but it was also often unavailable. This was what made people dissatisfied. 8 or 9 out of 10 cultivators who participated in the challenge tournament would be injured. Internal injuries could be healed through cultivation, but external injuries had to be treated with medicine. Otherwise, the continuous bleeding would affect the body's condition. Moreover, they were a group of rough men. How would they know how to bandage their own wounds to stop the bleeding? The only thing they could rely on was the healing pills. After discovering that the injuries on his body were gradually healing, Xiao Yihan looked at the healing pills in his hand and couldn't help but feel puzzled. Based on the effects of the healing pills, even if they were sold at the same price as the healing pills, it wouldn't be a big deal. 5 spirit stones per bottle. This price was simply giving it away for free. Moreover, according to the introduction of the woman at the counter, it seemed that the first 3 bottles of healing pills were free. Xiao Yihan's gaze gradually became sharp and bright. He wasn't a stupid person. On the contrary, he was able to reach his current reputation and position in the devil training tower. This was enough to prove that he was a very smart person. In the beginning, he didn't understand this, but after thinking about it carefully, he immediately understood. The reason why the other party set the first 3 bottles free was to let people understand the effects of the pills. After all, the healing pills of a cultivator who lived on the 2nd floor weren't very convincing. If it was a normal person, they would choose to ignore it. If it wasn't for the fact that he couldn't buy any more healing pills, he definitely wouldn't put such pills in his eyes. Thinking about it, tomorrow's opponent had the same idea as him, so they ignored the healing pills on the 2nd floor and let him pick up a treasure. However, he still didn't understand one thing. The cultivator who sold the healing pills lived on the 2nd floor and didn't live in the alchemist and doctor area. This proved that he was neither an alchemist nor a doctor. Then why would he sell the healing pills? Could it be that he was so poor that he couldn't even afford a room, so he could only sell the medicine he had on him? When this possibility appeared in Xiao Yihan's mind, even he himself could not believe it. What kind of state would it be to be so poor? I wonder if that cultivator still has any more of this healing medicine. I will definitely go to the counter tomorrow and ask. Xiao Yihan made up his mind. If the other party still had more healing medicine, then he would definitely buy all of it for himself. It was impossible to have too many of such treasures. The next day, when Xiao Yihan's opponent, Lu Mingxiu, saw that Xiao Yihan had recovered to his original appearance on the stage, his face couldn't help but be filled with astonishment. According to his understanding, Xiao Yihan had already used up all of his healing pills, and all of the healing pills and healing pills that were sold yesterday had already been taken by him. How did Xiao Yihan heal? Lu Mingxiu was shocked. Could it be that Xiao Yihan had purposely guarded against him and told him false information? Chapter 3052. Xiao Yihan naturally noticed the change in Lu Mingxiu's expression and immediately made a judgment in his heart. It seemed that his guess was not wrong. The reason he was in such a situation yesterday was largely related to Lu Mingxiu. If he hadn't coincidentally bought the healing medicine from the cultivator on the second floor, he would have really been tricked by Lu Mingxiu today. However, looking at Lu Mingxiu's shocked expression, he felt unusually happy. This proved that the heavens were still on his side. Lu Mingxiu had calculated everything, but he still missed one thing. In the end, Xiao Yihan was still the winner of this match. Looking at the unwilling Lu Mingxiu in front of him, Xiao Yihan only felt that his mood was extremely good. He proudly raised his eyebrows at Lu Mingxiu and said with a smile, "No matter how you think about it, you still missed one thing. Instead of using your brain on this kind of crooked path, I advise you to improve your own strength." Lu Mingxiu, who was already extremely unresigned, became even more furious after hearing Xiao Yihan's words. "Every dog has its day. I only won once. Don't be too arrogant. The winner is the king, and the loser is the bandit. What can you do to me if I'm arrogant?" Xiao Yihan sneered. Lu Mingxiu fiercely glared at Xiao Yihan, then turned and left the stage. After returning to his room, Lu Mingxiu couldn't take this lying down the more he thought about it. He clearly heard Xiao Yihan telling his friend that he had run out of healing medicine and could only go to the counter to buy more after the match. That was why he bought all the healing medicine one step ahead of time. This way, his chances of winning would increase a bit. He originally thought that he had tricked Xiao Yihan, but he didn't expect that he would be tricked by Xiao Yihan instead. This feeling made Lu Mingxiu extremely unhappy. After thinking about it, Lu Mingxiu still decided to go to the counter and ask. He had to find out whether he had fallen into Xiao Yihan's trap and wasted his efforts, or if Xiao Yihan had bought the healing medicine from somewhere else. In front of the counter. "Did Xiao Yihan buy the healing medicine from you yesterday?" Lu Mingxiu asked. When the woman at the counter heard Lu Mingxiu's words, her expression immediately became awkward. "Young Master Lu, you've been in the demon training tower for so long, so you should know the rules of the demon training tower. We are not allowed to reveal information about other guests. I'm just asking you if he bought any healing medicine. It's not a secret, so why can't you answer me?" Lu Mingxiu's expression was slightly cold, and his voice was filled with displeasure. His cold gaze seemed to say that as long as the woman in front of him did not answer, he would not let her have an easy time. The woman at the counter couldn't help but panic. She felt that she was really too unlucky. Yesterday, Xiao Yihan came here and made a big fuss. It was not easy to solve this problem. She did not expect Lu Mingxiu to come looking for trouble again today. She could not afford to offend either of these two people. If she told this news to Lu Mingxiu and Xiao Yihan found out, she would still be in trouble. This was really a dilemma. "Young Master Lu, if I tell you, young Master Xiao will definitely blame me when he finds out," the woman said submissively. "You mean that you're more afraid of Xiao Yihan than of me?" Lu Mingxiu raised his eyebrows and asked. As soon as these words came out, the woman immediately realized that the situation was not good. She quickly waved her hand and said, "No, that's not what I meant." Chapter 3053. The woman was shocked by Lu Mingxiu's fierceness, and the panic on her face became even more obvious. She was constantly weighing how to solve this problem. She knew the result of today's battle between Lu Mingxiu and Xiao Yihan. In terms of strength, Xiao Yihan was still slightly stronger. If she offended Xiao Yihan because of Lu Mingxiu, it would not be a wise move. Most importantly, even if she did not reveal Xiao Yihan's situation now, Xiao Yihan would not help her. Without any backing, she had no way to go against Lu Mingxiu at all. Just then, a voice suddenly sounded behind Lu Mingxiu, with a hint of mockery and sarcasm. "Lu Mingxiu, even if you lost to me in the battle, there's no need to vent your emotions on a mere counter girl, right?" Xiao Yihan smiled at Lu Mingxiu. He came to the counter because he wanted to know more about the cultivator who sold the healing medicine on the second floor. If he had the chance, he wanted to buy more healing medicine. In his opinion, his smooth victory today was partly due to that cultivator's contribution. He was very interested in getting to know him. When Lu Mingxiu turned around and saw Xiao Yihan, his face instantly darkened. "Xiao Yihan, what I want to do is my business. I don't need you to judge." "Pa." Xiao Yihan laughed mockingly. "Looks like it was indeed your doing that I couldn't buy the healing medicine yesterday. I didn't expect your methods to become more and more despicable. Lu Mingshu's gaze was sinister and vicious. His entire face had changed from rage to coldness. You just won today by luck. Don't be so proud. I'll take back what you took away soon. Xiao Yihan shrugged nonchalantly. But it won't be easy for you to take it back with your little ability. Oomph. Lu Mingshu glared fiercely at Xiao Yihan. The viciousness and coldness in his eyes were enough to send chills down one's spine. However, the person standing opposite him was Xiao Yihan, so he did not feel anything at all. Xiao Yihan, don't just talk about me. Didn't you purposely release fake news to make me do this? Lu Mingshu sneered. Xiao Yihan usually thought that he was very righteous, but in reality, he still used some tricks behind the scenes. Then you're wrong. Just because you're like this doesn't mean I'm like this. Don't confuse people like you with me. Looking at Xiao Yihan's face that had a clear conscience, Lu Mingshu's gaze gradually changed. Could it be that he had guessed wrong? The news that there was no healing medicine wasn't fake news that Xiao Yihan released, but that Xiao Yihan had solved the problem in other ways? However, Lu Mingshu did not continue asking. He turned around and left. He had to get to the bottom of this matter. If there was someone who was secretly helping Lu Mingshu, then he had to get to the bottom of it. After seeing Lu Mingshu leave, Xiao Yihan looked at the woman behind the counter and said, "Help me investigate the cultivator who sold healing medicine on the second floor yesterday." The woman at the counter, who was originally in a difficult situation, finally managed to extricate herself from the predicament after seeing Xiao Yihan arrive. When she heard Xiao Yihan's question, her expression couldn't help but become troubled again. Chapter 3054. However, the expected rage did not come. Xiao Yihan's voice was as calm as ever. Right, I forgot about that. Then help me ask the counter on the second floor and see if that cultivator has any similar healing medicine for sale. If there is, contact me immediately. I want to buy it. Once he said that, the woman at the counter could not help but look at Xiao Yihan in surprise. Her eyes were filled with astonishment. She simply could not believe that Xiao Yihan would be so easy to talk to today. It was completely unlike his usual personality. Okay, I'll immediately contact the counter on the second floor. Xiao Yihan nodded, then placed a few spirit stones on the counter and said, "Your performance today was very good." With that, Xiao Yihan turned and left. The woman at the counter stared blankly at Xiao Yihan's back as he left. Her brain could not react for a moment, but after she reacted, her face could not help but blossom into a wide smile. Ever since Sweet Dream was rejected by Bailey Hongzhuang twice that day, her heart was filled with disgust towards Bailey Hongzhuang. She completely did not know where Bailey Hongzhuang's confidence came from. Could it be that she thought that the healing medicine she took out would be better than the healing medicine made by an alchemist? That was simply too laughable. She only went to specially remind Bailey Hongzhuang, but Bailey Hongzhuang did not notice her good intentions at all. Xiao Yihan was not a newcomer to the Devil Training Tower. If Bailey Hongzhuang's healing medicine did not have a good effect or affected Xiao Yihan in any way, then the unlucky one would be Bailey Hongzhuang. Just thinking about Bailey Hongzhuang's confident appearance made her angry 10 times more. Simply a fool's dream. She wanted to see just who would come to buy Bailey Hongzhuang's healing medicine. Just as Sweet Dream was dreaming about this matter, suddenly a message came from the 15th floor. Xiao Yihan asked if there were any more healing medicine. He wanted to buy it? When Sweet Dream heard this, her first reaction was that she had misheard. This was simply impossible. Are you sure? Does young Master Xiao really want to buy that healing medicine? No, young Master Xiao told me personally. Judging from the situation, the healing medicine you sold seems to be quite effective. Quickly help me ask that cultivator if he has any more healing medicine. Since young Master Xiao is in a good mood today, I will give him a reply as soon as possible. Sweet Dream stared at the woman in front of her in a daze. She really doubted that all of this was real. Unfortunately, when she pinched her arm, it really did hurt. All of this was actually real. Sweet Dream, what are you thinking about? Are there no more healing medicines for sale? Hearing this, Sweet Dream finally reacted. She shook her head and said, "That's not it. It's just that the price has changed." What changes? That cultivator said that if someone wanted to buy this healing medicine again, the price would have to be increased by 10 times. Sweet Dream's face was a little embarrassed. She really didn't expect that there would be a day when she would pass on these words. 10 times? Sweet Dream nodded. She said so. Isn't this sudden 10-fold price a little too high? Do you want to go and ask again? The woman had a difficult expression. Yesterday, a bottle of healing medicine was only 5 spirit stones. Now it had become 50 spirit stones. She felt that Xiao Yihan would most likely not agree. Chapter 3055. Yesterday, when I gave the spirit stones to that cultivator, she said that directly. Judging from her attitude, I don't think there's any possibility of bargaining. Sweet Dream recalled Bailey Hongzhuang's confident look. It was as if she had no intention of changing the price at all. In fact, until now, she still found it hard to believe that Bailey Hongzhuang was right. Xiao Yihan really went back and forth to buy healing medicine. This was too strange. There were still healing pills and medicines sold in the alchemist and doctor area today, but Xiao Yihan specially came to buy Bailey Hongzhuang's healing medicine. Could it really be because Bailey Hongzhuang's healing medicine was very effective? Sweet Dream, help me ask again, the woman said. Why don't we go together? Bailey Hongzhuang and Bewitching had just returned from the arena area when they saw 2 figures standing in front of their door from afar. It seemed that they had been waiting for a while. Sweet Dream's heart was very conflicted. She had clearly shown her resolute attitude in front of Bailey Hongzhuang yesterday. Wasn't coming over today equivalent to slapping her own face? What's the matter? At this moment, a familiar voice sounded from behind Sweet Dream. Sweet Dream couldn't help but be startled and quickly turned her head. As expected, she saw Bailey Hongzhuang and Bewitching behind her. Her expression immediately became a little awkward. Young Master D, it's like this. I'm the receptionist on the 15th floor. Yesterday, my customer bought your healing medicine. He wants to buy some more today, so he asked me to ask if there's any left. Hearing this, Bailey Hongzhuang nodded slightly, her calm face not showing any surprise. Yes, but you should know the price. How much do you want? Bailey Hongzhuang asked. She had already guessed that no matter who saw the effect of her healing medicine, they would be very interested in buying it back. Bewitching looked at Bailey Hongzhuang, who was full of confidence, and the smile in his eyes deepened. His wife's medical skills were really amazing. It had only been a short day, and the other party had already come knocking on their door. Seeing that Bailey Hongzhuang didn't have any intention of negotiating the price, Sweet Dream couldn't help but look at the receptionist. She had already guessed this. Young Master D, I came here to ask if you can lower the price a little. Yesterday, you sold a bottle of healing medicine for 5 spirit stones, and today it's 50 spirit stones. Isn't this asking for a sky-high price? The woman couldn't help but ask. Bailey Hongzhuang glanced at the woman indifferently. Let me ask, is there any healing medicine that only costs 5 spirit stones in the entire Devil Training Pagoda? As soon as these words were spoken, the woman at the counter couldn't help but be stunned. To be honest, there really wasn't such a thing. If I didn't live on the 2nd floor, no one would believe what I took out, and I wouldn't sell it at such a price. However, that's only the first batch. The current price is 50 spirit stones. If you can accept it, then buy it. If you can't, then forget it. Seeing Bailey Hongzhuang's unyielding attitude, the woman couldn't help but frown. Young Master D, from what I know, the price of this healing medicine is usually around 30 to 40 spirit stones. Isn't 50 spirit stones a little too much? Chapter 3056. What's wrong with me setting the price of my things? Bailey Hongzhuang raised her eyebrows. Didn't Sweet Dream say that the buyer yesterday was very rich? Why can't he accept this price? She was very confident in the healing medicine she made, and believed that as long as the other party personally experienced the effects of the healing medicine, they would definitely not think that the price was too expensive. However, she did not expect that the other party would actually find someone to bargain today. In that case, the other party was not some rich person. It was not a wise move for them to buy all the healing medicine in one go. Hearing Bailey Hongzhuang's words, the woman at the counter could not help but be stunned. She originally thought that after her negotiation, the other party should have no problem lowering the price, but she did not expect the other party's attitude to be so unyielding. Instead, she questioned Xiao Yihan's financial ability. At this moment, she finally understood why Sweet Dream was unwilling to discuss the price with Bailey Hongzhuang. In fact, she was also very unwilling. I haven't told him the price yet. I just came to ask for your opinion. If you can't lower the price, I believe that young Master Xiao will not accept it. Bailey Hongzhuang finally understood. It was not the other party who felt that it was expensive, but the two women in front of her felt that it was expensive. If he won't accept it, then so be it. My price is set here. If he can't accept it, then don't buy it. Bailey Hongzhuang's voice became cold. If there's nothing else, I'm going to enter the house. The woman at the counter and Sweet Dream looked at each other, both of them feeling helpless. Ignoring the two, Bailey Hongzhuang and Bewitching directly walked into the house, and the door was once again mercilessly closed. Bang! The woman at the counter and Sweet Dream stared blankly at the tightly closed door in front of them, their expressions revealing a bit of annoyance. Sweet Dream, didn't you say that this guy is very short on money? Then why didn't he do the business when there was a chance? The woman at the counter could not understand. Basically, all the cultivators who lived on the second floor were people who were not rich. Logically speaking, with this kind of opportunity to earn spirit stones, they should not reject it. Sweet Dream shook her head, her expression was filled with a bit of helplessness. They did act like they were very short on money, but I don't know why his attitude is so unyielding on this matter. It seems that it is impossible to get him to lower the price. You should just tell young Master Xiao the price. Young Master Xiao has no choice but to accept it. This guy is so arrogant, he should be disappointed. The woman at the counter nodded. We can only do this now. I just hope that young Master Xiao won't be angry with me. Sweet Dream patted the shoulder of the woman behind the counter and expressed some sympathy for her. The higher one worked on the higher floor, the less one dared to offend people. In comparison, her work at the counter on the second floor was much easier, but the pay was correspondingly much lower. 10 times? After hearing the counters that? This? S right sweets SS's. This? Est, S with the is that? Sweets with ye. T TSSS? SSSS? This? SS sweets SS? Chapter 3057. If it had been the same price as before, Xiao Yihan would have thought that there was a conspiracy behind it. There must be a reason behind it. No one would complain about having too much money, not to mention that the item itself was worth more than 5 spirit stones. He now understood that the other party must have felt that the price of the healing medicine was far more than 5 spirit stones. Unfortunately, it was impossible to sell it on the second floor, so they could only think of such a method. Since the lady at the counter was unwilling to lower the price even after bargaining, it could be seen that the other party was also a proud person. In other words, the other party was very confident in the healing medicine. However, he also felt that the healing medicine's effect was not excessive to ask for such a price. Even if it was a little higher, it would not be excessive to ask for the same price as the healing pill. The other party did not ask for an exorbitant price, but chose the middle price between the healing pill and the healing medicine. This proved that the other party was also a straightforward person, and he was somewhat interested in the seller. The lady at the counter carefully sized up Xiao Yihan. She originally thought that Xiao Yihan would be very angry after hearing this news, but she did not expect Xiao Yihan to only fall into silence, which made her a little confused. Go and tell the other party that I accept this price. Also, tell her that if she is willing, I am very happy to be friends with her, Xiao Yihan said with a smile. This kind of price was not a problem for him at all. Moreover, just the bet that she won from Lu Mingshu today was already an extremely high price. Seeing that Xiao Yihan agreed without hesitation, the lady at the counter could not help but be stunned. She stared at the former in a daze, wondering if she had heard wrongly. Xiao Yihan actually did not refuse? The price suddenly increased by 10 times, and he actually accepted it so easily? For a moment, the lady at the counter could not understand. Her mind could not help but recall Bailey Hongzhuang's arrogant and unyielding appearance. Could it be that she had made a mistake? "Young Master Xiao, how many portions do you need?" the lady at the counter asked slowly. Xiao Yihan thought for a moment and said, "Let's buy 50 portions first." Once these words came out, the lady was stunned again. 50 portions, that would be 2,500 spirit stones. Xiao Yihan was actually so generous for such a big business deal. Most importantly, was the healing medicine's effect so good? Was it worth Xiao Yihan buying so many at once? However, the lady at the counter only thought about it in her heart and did not dare to ask at all. "Okay, I'll go now." When Sweet Dream saw the woman at the counter come down again, a trace of doubt appeared on her face. She hurriedly asked, "What did young Master Xiao say?" Young Master Xiao said that he wants to buy 50 sets of healing medicine. The woman at the counter said awkwardly. Sweet Dream couldn't help but be stunned when she heard this. She asked in astonishment, "What did you say?" "Sweet Dream, I think we might have made a mistake." Although young Master Xiao was surprised when he heard the price, he immediately accepted it. "In my opinion, I'm afraid that the effect of the healing medicine is really very good." Otherwise, young Master Xiao wouldn't have agreed. The woman at the counter understood at this moment. Xiao Yihan usually bought many things from her, so she had a certain understanding of Xiao Yihan's personality. At least, Xiao Yihan had never bought so many healing medicines at once when he bought them from other pharmacists and doctors. Chapter 3058. After getting this result, Sweet Dream's mood was also extremely complicated. She suddenly couldn't understand Bailey Hongzhuang. Previously, Bailey Hongzhuang was clearly a poor person, and no one thought that he could take out anything good. So later, when Bailey Hongzhuang was unusually confident, she only wanted to ridicule him. Now that she got Xiao Yihan's answer, she carefully thought about what happened before and felt that perhaps she was biased against Bailey Hongzhuang, causing her to make the wrong judgment. However, Bailey Hongzhuang wasn't a doctor at all. Could it be that young Master Xiao is in a good mood after winning the competition today, so he did this on purpose? Sweet Dream couldn't help but ask. The woman at the counter thought for a moment, then shook her head and said, "It shouldn't be. Even if young Master Xiao is in a good mood, he wouldn't waste such a large amount of spirit stones. However, young Master Xiao did reward me with some spirit stones today. Let's not think about this for now. Help me buy 50 portions of healing medicine from young Master D." Hearing this, Sweet Dream's face revealed a very difficult expression. Everything that happened today was really making her more embarrassed than the last time. When Bailey Hongzhuang heard that Xiao Yihan wanted to buy 50 portions of healing medicine at once, her eyes flashed with a touch of surprise. It seemed that what Sweet Dream said before was true. This Xiao Yihan was indeed a generous person. 2,500 spirit stones. After deducting the high processing fee charged by the Demon Training Tower, she still had 1,500 spirit stones left. This was enough for them to cultivate for a while. "I know, I'll leave it to you tomorrow." Bailey Hongzhuang left a faint sentence and didn't say anything else. Sweet Dream also tactfully left. "Beichen, it seems that we don't have to worry about pills for cultivation for a while." Bailey Hongzhuang's eyes curved as she smiled at Beichen. Beichen gave a thumbs up. "My wife has always been the best." "Beichen, actually, I have an idea." Bailey Hongzhuang stared at Beichen with hesitation in her eyes. Noticing the change in Bailey Hongzhuang's expression, Beichen's eyes also showed a trace of seriousness. He immediately pulled Bailey Hongzhuang's hand and let her sit on his lap. His hand circled around Bailey Hongzhuang's slender waist as he said, "What decision did my darling wife make? Tell me, I'll help you judge." Bailey Hongzhuang smiled faintly. She really felt very good to be with Beichen like this. "Do you think we can completely trust Xiren and the others?" Bailey Hongzhuang said slowly with some hesitation, as if she was considering her words. "My wife, there's no need to have any misgivings between us. You just have to tell me your thoughts." Beichen's gaze was gentle and doting as he kneaded Bailey Hongzhuang's small hand and smiled. Bailey Hongzhuang nodded slightly. "I think the effects of cultivation in the oceanic world are very good. The speed of cultivation is also relatively fast. Xiren and Yingying don't have a chance to fight right now. If they can also come to the oceanic world and cultivate with us, the speed of their cultivation should be much faster. However, the secret of the Chaos Ring. Bailey Hongzhuang looked at Di Beichen halfway through her words. She believed that Di Beichen already understood her meaning. Chapter 3059. In terms of trust, Di Beichen had absolute trust in Xiren and Shangguan Yingying. They had been friends since childhood, and this time Xiren and Shangguan Yingying had specially come to Penglai Island for him. Although part of the reason was that they wanted to come here to gain experience, Di Beichen knew very well that if it wasn't for his physique, Xiren and Shangguan Yingying wouldn't have to take such a big risk. They could have waited until their cultivation had reached the 5th level of the Purple Realm before coming here. Then they wouldn't have needed to hide here and hide, afraid that someone would find out about their cultivation. He had also thought about the problem that Bailey Hongzhuang had mentioned. If when Xiren and Shangguan Yingying could improve together with them, that would be the best. However, the more he understood the magic of the Chaos Ring, the more he understood how tempting the Chaos Ring was to cultivators. The greed of human nature, no one could deny it. Even if he believed that when Xiren and Shangguan Yingying weren't that kind of people, he was still selfish when it came to Hongzhuang. He didn't want Bailey Hongzhuang to take any risks because she was the most precious treasure in his heart. Bailey Hongzhuang looked deeply at Di Beichen. In fact, she also understood Di Beichen's thoughts. With the brotherhood between Di Beichen and Wen Xiren, this problem was originally superfluous. She was even more clear that the reason why Di Beichen hadn't said this was because he was worried about her safety. However, she felt that when Xiren and Shangguan Yingying had treated them wholeheartedly, so they should be trustworthy. Beichen, I know you're worried about me. If the Chaos Ring was yours, you would have told them long ago. Bailey Hongzhuang stared at Di Beichen. Her pitch-black phoenix eyes met with those deep eyes like the sea. In an instant she saw into the other's heart. Listening to Bailey Hongzhuang's words, Di Beichen fell into silence. Indeed, if he was the one taking the risk, he would have already told Xiren. Looking at Di Beichen's expression, Bailey Hongzhuang understood everything. She turned around and sat on Di Beichen's lap, facing him. Her crystal-clear eyes were full of seriousness. Beichen, I think sometimes I need to take the first step to gain true friendship and trust. What do you think? Di Beichen's dark eyes flickered with starry light, as if they were filled with endless hope, but they made Di Beichen's heart tremble. I haven't known Yingying and Xiren for a long time, but we both care about the same person, and that is you. I believe that this is a bet that I won't lose, so I want to give it a try. Bailey Hongzhuang's voice gradually became more and more certain. In reality, she had already made her decision when she had first mentioned her plan. Di Beichen looked deeply at Bailey Hongzhuang. His large hand held Bailey Hongzhuang's small hand tightly as he said in a deep voice, "My wife, you don't have to do this for me. I understand. Perhaps I'm being greedy. I also want to be part of a friendship like yours." Bailey Hongzhuang's lips curled into a radiant smile. She had kept this secret for many years. Now, even though her cultivation could not be considered extremely powerful, she still had the ability to protect herself. Even if someone wanted to snatch her Chaos Ring away, it would not be an easy task. Chapter 3060. The next day, Bailey Hongzhuang gave Sweet Dream the 50 sets of healing medicine that she had made. Although 50 sets of healing medicine was a lot, with Bailey Hongzhuang's ability, it didn't take long to make them. Moreover, with Xiao He and Xiao Bai helping out, the speed was much faster. Sweet Dream looked at Bailey Hongzhuang in front of her, and her thoughts were extremely complicated. Especially after seeing the coldness on Bailey Hongzhuang's face, she felt even more upset. She still remembered that when she saw Bailey Hongzhuang before, Bailey Hongzhuang didn't treat her like this. However, it seemed that her recent actions had really offended Bailey Hongzhuang. Every time she saw Bailey Hongzhuang, she could feel the coldness on Bailey Hongzhuang's face become thicker. Now, Bailey Hongzhuang didn't even want to look at her. When she first saw Bailey Hongzhuang, Sweet Dream had a good impression of this handsome man in front of her. Later, when she found out that Bailey Hongzhuang was just a poor ghost, Sweet Dream's behavior was so mocking. Because she felt very disappointed. Now, looking at the spirit stones that Bailey Hongzhuang earned from selling the healing medicine, she felt that the situation seemed to be different from what she had imagined. 50 sets of healing medicine, and Bailey Hongzhuang took them out just like that. Sweet Dream had a faint guess in her mind. Could Bailey Hongzhuang be a doctor? After all, very few cultivators would bring so many healing medicine at once, let alone sell them here. It wasn't that she hadn't seen some strange alchemists or doctors. Their actions were often incomprehensible to ordinary people. Could it be that Bailey Hongzhuang was one of them? If that was really the case, then she really misjudged him. Bailey Hongzhuang saw Sweet Dream staring at her blankly and couldn't help coughing twice to remind her. Hearing Bailey Hongzhuang's coughing, Sweet Dream returned to her senses and blushed. Young Master D, each of these 50 sets of healing pills is priced at 50 spirit stones, so it's a total of 2,500 spirit stones. After deducting the handling fee, there's still 1,500 spirit stones left. The spirit stones are all here. Take a look and see if they are correct. Bailey Hongzhuang took the Qianquan pouch from Sweet Dream's hands and glanced at it. After confirming that it was enough, she nodded and said, "I'll have to trouble you." Ever since she came to Penglai Island, Bailey Hongzhuang had never received so many spiritual stones. Thinking that she could cultivate well without worrying about the consumption of spiritual stones, Bailey Hongzhuang was in a very good mood. Young Master D. Seeing Bailey Hongzhuang's departing figure, Sweet Dream couldn't help but call out. Bailey Hongzhuang turned around with a trace of surprise in her black eyes. "Is there something else?" Sweet Dream was stunned and the embarrassment on her face became even more intense. She couldn't help but say, "No, nothing." Seeing this, Bailey Hongzhuang frowned and the doubt in her eyes deepened. Then she left. Today, Sweet Dream was acting strangely. She couldn't understand what was going on. "Master, do you think Sweet Dream likes you?" Not long after she left, Xiao Hei's gossipy heart was already ignited. Bailey Hongzhuang waved her hand. "That's impossible. What kind of person have the women in the demon training tower not seen? My current appearance can't be considered very handsome, let alone a poor ghost." Chapter 3061. Bailey Hongzhuang reached out and flicked Xiao Hei's forehead. "I didn't expect you to be so concerned about this kind of thing." Xiao Hei chuckled. "Aren't I just concerned about Master? Although that Sweet Dream is usually quite annoying, she's clearly concerned about Master. Maybe she's interested in Beichin or Wenziren. A fake man like me shouldn't have that kind of charm." Bailey Hongzhuang shrugged. She was currently disguised as a man. Although she thought that her disguise was quite good and that no one would discover that she was a woman, she had never thought that she would be so charming. That's not necessarily true. Everyone has different tastes. Xiao Hei chuckled, then asked Xiao Bai, "What do you think?" "I don't know either." Xiao Bai shook her head, looking confused. "But I do think that Sweet Dream is a little strange today." "Why are you thinking so much? We don't have anything to do with her." Bailey Hongzhuang's expression was indifferent. "It's just that Sweet Dream happened to be working as a counter on the second floor recently. After a few days, she'll move to a different floor and won't be seen anymore." When they returned to the house, Bailey Hongzhuang called Wenziren and Shengguan Yingying over. "Hongzhuang, why did you call us over?" Shengguan Yingying's face was rippling with a faint smile. "Ziren and I are preparing to head to the arena area." Today was the day that she and Ziren were going to the arena area. When she first went to the arena area, she was very unaccustomed to it. But now, she was familiar with it. Going there again was a walk in the park. Of course, even so, she didn't like the arena area at all. "Yingying, don't go to the arena area for the time being." Bailey Hongzhuang spoke up. Shengguan Yingying was a little surprised. Based on their current situation, their main source of spirit stones was still the bedding in the arena area. "I sold some healing medicine today and just so happened to earn some spirit stones. It's enough for us to use for a while." Bailey Hongzhuang winked, her eyes revealing a hint of playfulness. Hearing Bailey Hongzhuang's words, Shengguan Yingying and Wenziren's faces filled with curiosity. "How much did you earn from selling healing medicine?" "A total of 2,500 spirit stones." It's not too much. After we got it, we're only left with 1,500 spirit stones. But it's enough for us to use. Bailey Hongzhuang. 2,500 spirit stones? We've been in the arena area for so long and we've only earned 100 spirit stones a day. Hongzhuang, you've earned 1,500 spirit stones a day. Bailey Hongzhuang smiled. The Devil Training Tower's demand for healing medicine is quite high and the price is also quite high. Xiren gave Bailey Hongzhuang a thumbs up and then said to Bewitching, Bewitching, you've really found a good wife. Her methods, her ability, tisk. Of course. Bewitching reached out and hugged Bailey Hongzhuang, his face filled with pride. Seeing Bewitching so proud, Xiren's face couldn't help but darken. You're really shameless. Bewitching shrugged indifferently. I know you're envious. Xiren sneered and hugged Shangguan Yingying's shoulder. Yingying, let's not lower ourselves to his level. Chapter 3062. With their current situation, if they didn't have to worry about using spirit stones and could focus on cultivation, it wouldn't take long for them to break through to the 4th level of the Purple Realm. Bailey Hongzhuang and Bewitching looked at each other, then shook their heads. No, we'll go somewhere else to cultivate today. Xiren and Shangguan Yingying couldn't help but be startled when they heard this. Then where are we going to cultivate? Don't tell me we're going to the cultivation area? Even if we have a bit more spirit stones now, we can't afford to go to the cultivation area, not to mention our level isn't high enough to go there. Xiren and Shangguan Yingying couldn't think of any other place to cultivate on the entire demonic refining island apart from the cultivation area. I'm going to take you to a special place to cultivate, but this place is my secret. Bailey Hongzhuang's ink-black phoenix eyes stared at Xiren and Shangguan Yingying. Her voice was steady and certain. Xiren subconsciously looked at Bewitching. Bewitching also nodded, his expression solemn and serious. Seeing this, Shangguan Yingying and Xiren both realized that the situation wasn't simple. Otherwise, Bewitching and Bailey Hongzhuang wouldn't have such expressions. Xiren, Yingying, I hope you can help Hongzhuang keep this secret. Bewitching said in a deep voice. Bailey Hongzhuang's words had convinced him. This was a risky move, but if it succeeded, the 4 of them would be able to quickly improve together, and their friendship would become even stronger. Xiren and Shangguan Yingying looked at each other. They already had some guesses in their minds. It seemed that this was related to Hongzhuang's secret. Even if they didn't know what kind of secret this was, with Xiren's understanding of Bewitching, they knew that this secret was not simple. If that wasn't the case, Bailey Hongzhuang and Bewitching would have already told them. Seeing Bailey Hongzhuang and Shangguan Yingying's serious expressions, Xiren and Shangguan Yingying didn't really care about what the secret was. Just the fact that Bailey Hongzhuang was willing to take such a risk and tell them the secret was already something very meaningful. Hongzhuang, Bewitching, don't worry, we'll definitely keep this secret. Hearing this, Bailey Hongzhuang smiled. Of course, we'll believe you. The next second, Bailey Hongzhuang's mind moved, and Shangguan Yingying and Xiren were surprised to find that a mysterious black and white palace appeared in front of them. Magical colors flowed around the palace, revealing a mysterious and profound aura. The environment they were in was completely different from before. This caused Shangguan Yingying and Li Wuyo's eyes to widen, their faces filled with shock. This is... Come with me. With that, Bailey Hongzhuang took the lead and walked into the palace. Xiren glanced at Bewitching. Bewitching raised his eyebrows and gestured for them to go in and take a look. When Xiren and Shangguan Yingying saw the various environments inside the palace, the shock in their hearts grew stronger and stronger. They never thought that Bailey Hongzhuang would have a palace like this. This was just too amazing. This is a small world that I own. Bailey Hongzhuang said frankly. Shangguan Yingying stared blankly at the scene around her and said, "This is really too shocking. It's unbelievable." Chapter 3063. Bailey Hongzhuang nodded, then shook her head. "We have to go to another small world to cultivate. There are demonic beasts there that can increase our battle prowess. Moreover, the time flow inside is 1/3 of the outside world. In other words, 3 days inside is equivalent to 1 day outside. This way we'll have more time to cultivate. Following Bailey Hongzhuang's words, when Xiren and Shangguan Yingying's mouths were already agape. They were so shocked that they did not know what to say. There's another small world other than this one? When Xiren said in astonishment. That's right. When Xiren rubbed his head and paused for a moment before he said, wait a moment. Give me some time to digest this. Isn't this secret of yours a little too shocking? I've never seen such an abnormal thing. Xiren's eyes were filled with shock. He felt that all of this was inconceivable. If he did not clearly know that everything before his eyes was real, he would only feel that this was a dream. As the young sect master of the Cloud Sword sect, he had seen a lot of the world. Naturally, he knew that some cultivators would have some mysterious tools to help them cultivate. However, everything that Bailey Hongzhuang had displayed was simply too powerful. It was so powerful that he could not believe it at all. He believed that not to mention him, even his knowledgeable old man would definitely be unable to believe it when he saw this scene. Bewitching patted Xiren's shoulder and revealed an empathetic smile. When he first found out about this, his thoughts were exactly the same as Xiren's. From a certain point of view, the Chaos Ring possessing such an ability was already a heaven-defying existence. At this moment, Shangguan Yingying was completely dumbfounded. After she understood everything, she could not help but pull Bailey Hongzhuang's hand with a face full of nervousness. Hongzhuang, are you crazy? If such a huge secret were to be leaked out, who knows how many cultivators would be envious of it? You could lose your life at any time. How dare you say it out loud? Listening to Shangguan Yingying's words, the smile in Bailey Hongzhuang's eyes couldn't help but deepen. She understood that she had won the bet. Because I trust you. Bailey Hongzhuang smiled faintly. Because I believe in you. Shangguan Yingying and Wen Xiren couldn't help but be startled by his words. Their hearts seemed to have been touched, and an indescribable warmth spread through them. When they looked at Bailey Hongzhuang again, their eyes were even brighter. If they had such a treasure, they probably wouldn't dare to tell others about it. It wasn't that he didn't trust her, but without enough trust, he definitely couldn't tell her. In this world, how many life and death friendships had collapsed because of a single treasure? In order to snatch the treasure, friends and brothers who had killed each other were simply too many to count. They never thought that Bailey Hongzhuang's trust in them would reach such a level. This made them feel flattered, and at the same time, they also felt a heavy sense of responsibility. When Bailey Hongzhuang decided to tell them this secret, Bailey Hongzhuang had already begun a huge gamble. She was gambling with her own life. In the face of such a huge gamble, how could they let Bailey Hongzhuang lose? Chapter 3064. Previously, when Xiren and Shangguan Yingying also treated Bailey Hongzhuang as a good friend, but that was mainly because of Bewitching. Bewitching was a good friend they had grown up with. As Bewitching's wife, Bailey Hongzhuang and Shangguan Yingying were naturally a group. However, compared to their absolute trust in Bewitching, there was still a distance between them and Bailey Hongzhuang. Now that Bailey Hongzhuang was so unreserved towards them, it meant that Bailey Hongzhuang had enough trust and sincerity towards them. If they still did not treat Bailey Hongzhuang wholeheartedly, then they were not human. In the face of such a treasure, anyone would feel envious, but this thing belonged to their good friend. Whether it was Wen Xiren or Shangguan Yingying, they would not have any other thoughts. Because they had to be worthy of that trust. Hongzhuang, thank you. Shangguan Yingying stared at Bailey Hongzhuang, her bright and clear eyes filled with sincerity and deep affection. At this time, she would not say anything else, but she was really grateful that Bailey Hongzhuang could trust her so much. Because this trust was really precious. Bailey Hongzhuang smiled sweetly. She already understood Shangguan Yingying's meaning. Xiren did not say anything. He just glanced at Bewitching, and Bewitching also understood. After being brothers for so many years, many things could be understood with just a glance. No one said anything else about this matter, but at this moment, silence spoke louder than words. Everyone seemed to have enough tacit understanding. Now let's go to the cultivation place. Bewitching smiled faintly, The situation in front of him was undoubtedly the best situation he wanted to see. Hearing this, when Xiren and Shangguan Yingying looked at Bailey Hongzhuang and Shangguan Yingying expectantly, and said, "Take us to have a look, I also want to know what kind of good cultivation place it is." Soon, Bailey Hongzhuang and the other three appeared in the ocean world together. Xiren and Shangguan Yingying looked at the vast sea in front of them. Their faces could not help but be filled with deep surprise. "My God, this is your small world? I feel like I've returned to the days when I was drifting on the sea in front of Penglai Island." Xiren looked at everything in front of him. This environment was really not an ordinary kind of familiar environment. It is indeed very similar, but this is a different place, and the monster beasts here are different from the monster beasts we usually see at the bottom of the sea. Bailey Hongzhuang slowly said. After these days of exploration and cultivation in the ocean world with Bewitching, they found that this place was the same as the desert world. The monster beasts here were different from the monster beasts outside. If the monster beasts in the desert world were said to be extremely strong, the monster beasts here could be said to be extremely slippery and good at fighting in groups. Fortunately, Bewitching, and the three beasts had a large number of people, and were responsible for facing the monster beasts. It was not easy to win. After almost every battle, they were exhausted, only feeling that all the strength in their bodies had been sucked out. Fortunately, they had spirit stones to help them quickly recover their cultivation, and the effect of using spirit stones to cultivate was also the best. Chapter 3065. Not the same. Shangguan Yingying was a little confused. Weren't there only so many species of demonic beasts in the entire Shengxian continent? Even in a small world, this situation should not be an exception. Looking at Shangguan Yingying's expression, Bailey Hongzhuang understood what Shangguan Yingying was thinking. She could not help but smile and said, "You will understand when you see it in a while." "Beichen, I was wondering why your cultivation speed was so fast. It turns out that there is such a good place to cultivate." Xiren narrowed his eyes and looked at Bewitching with ridicule. Previously, he had used some secret methods to raise his cultivation to this level in the Cloud Sword sect. He originally thought that he could show off in front of Bewitching, but he did not expect that Bewitching had also raised his cultivation to the same level, so he did not have the chance to be proud. Previously, he had always thought that Bewitching and Bailey Hongzhuang's cultivation speed was too abnormal. Only now did he understand that they had such a heaven-defying divine tool. Cultivating here was equivalent to having 3 times the cultivation time. It couldn't get any better than that. Perhaps they would not discover anything in a short period of time, but after a long period of time, the gap would be very shocking. Bewitching smiled faintly. "You have your methods, and I naturally have mine. However, now we are running together." Bailey Hongzhuang took out the spirit stones and said, "Now that everything is calm, let's cultivate first." Although the density of yuan qi here was not as high as in the demon training tower, using the spirit stones to cultivate and the time advantage here, overall, it was faster than cultivating in the demon training tower. Hearing this, Xiren nodded. "Coincidentally, I have only been able to cultivate these days and have not had the chance to fight. I only feel that my fighting skills have become rusty. Now that there is such a good place, I am really looking forward to it." Bailey Hongzhuang and Bewitching looked at each other with a faint smile in their eyes. The situation was exactly as they had expected. Not long after, Shangguan Yingying and when Xiren understood what Bailey Hongzhuang meant by different demonic beasts. "Heavens, aren't the demonic beasts here too abnormal? This isn't a single demonic beast, it's a group of demonic beasts. How can these fellows be so despicable? Could it be that they only know how to gang up and don't have the courage to fight one-on-one? Another wave. This is going to kill me." Bailey Hongzhuang and Bewitching, who were originally exhausted, heard the constant complaints of Wen Ziran and Shangguan Yingying, and their hearts were somewhat balanced. In the past, when they were abused here, they felt very helpless. Now, there were 2 more guys who were being abused. Especially when they warned Xiren and Shangguan Yingying, they didn't take it seriously. Now, they finally understood where the pain came from. After a fierce battle, Shangguan Yingying and Xiren lay on the boat, exhausted. They only felt that their bodies had been hollowed out, and they didn't have the slightest bit of strength. Bewitching couldn't help but tease, "Xiren, you haven't fought for a long time. How does it feel to fight again?" Xiren gasped for breath. Looking at Bewitching, who was obviously in a better state than him, he said, "You pervert, you still have the strength to fight. The demonic beasts here are simply unreasonable. The number of demonic beasts in this group is too shocking." However, hearing Xiren's words, Bailey Hongzhuang and Bewitching couldn't help but be shocked. Chapter 3066. They had not been in the oceanic world for a long time. According to their previous situation, their endurance should be about the same as Xiren's. However, judging from the current situation, their endurance was clearly better than when Xiren's and Liqia's. Now Xiren's had no strength to move, but at least the two of them still had the strength to move. In that case, this was where they improved in the oceanic world. When they were in the desert world, the biggest improvement was their strength, but the oceanic world helped to improve their endurance. No matter which point it was, maybe this little improvement was nothing, but once it was used in battle, the effect of this improvement would immediately be reflected. Xiren saw that Bewitching and Bailey Hongzhuang were stunned after he said one sentence, and could not help but wonder, "Did I say something I shouldn't have said? Why do you two have such expressions?" Bewitching shook his head and said, "You reminded us of our improvement during this time. We thought that cultivating here would only give us a chance to fight, but now it seems that the biggest improvement is endurance." As soon as these words came out, it was Xiren's turn to be stunned. He then nodded, "Now that you mention it, it is indeed so. My old man often said that endurance is extremely important for a cultivator. Once the strength of the two cultivators is not much different, then endurance is the key to determining the outcome. It is just that it is not easy to improve endurance, and it is difficult to create such conditions. The situation in this oceanic world is completely possible. In that case, the value of Hongzhuang's small world is even more amazing." With that, Xiren turned his head to Bailey Hongzhuang and said, "Hongzhuang, I still have to thank you for giving us a good opportunity to improve, huh?" Bailey Hongzhuang chuckled, "Then I have to thank you for accompanying Bewitching to Penglai Island." Xiren was slightly stunned, and the smile in his eyes deepened. He felt that Bewitching had really found an excellent wife. Just as Bailey Hongzhuang and the others were being tortured by the demon beasts in the oceanic world, Lu Mingshu finally learned the truth. The lady at the counter was unwilling to tell him the truth about Xiao Yihan's situation, but it didn't mean that he didn't have other ways to find out. Especially after seeing that the healing medicine on the second floor was sold out, he already had a guess in his mind. "Xiao Yihan, I didn't expect you to be so down and out right now. You actually have to buy healing medicine from the cultivators on the second floor. The way I see it, the reason why your injuries are getting better is because you used those 10 bottles of medicine together, right? How did it feel?" Lu Mingshu looked at Xiao Yihan mockingly. He originally thought that he had been tricked by Xiao Yihan and was in a bad mood. Now that he knew that he had not fallen into Xiao Yihan's trap, his mood became much better. Looking at Lu Mingshu's happy expression, Xiao Yihan chuckled, "What does it have to do with you how I recovered from my injuries? It's better than someone like you who plays tricks behind my back." Chapter 3067. Listening to Xiao Yihan's merciless mockery and sarcasm, Lu Mingshu's face darkened even more. His entire face had turned black. The failure last time was truly a great humiliation. Now, every time Xiao Yihan found a reason to mock him, he was unable to refute. He was about to go crazy from anger. "You, Xiao Yihan, have always flaunted your high standards and disdained to use ordinary things. Who would have thought that you would fall to such a state?" Lu Mingshu said coldly. Xiao Yihan smiled faintly and did not care about Lu Mingshu's mockery. "Speaking of which, I still have to thank you. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't have found a talent." Xiao Yihan was in a good mood today. He had just received 50 sets of healing medicine, and it was exactly the same as the ones he had bought before. Compared to the trouble of purchasing healing pills and medicines from the alchemist and doctor's area on a daily basis, he could only purchase a few bottles at most each time, and it also depended on whether the other party was interested and had the time to refine them. This cultivator on the second floor was simply too easy to talk to. He did not expect the other party to be so fast. He had only placed the order yesterday, and the other party had already brought all the healing medicine this morning. He liked this efficiency. This saved him a lot of time. He was even more determined to buy healing medicine from the cultivator on the second floor in the future. This way, he would not have to accommodate those alchemists and doctors and waste his time. Hearing Xiao Yihan's words, Lu Mingxiu could not help but frown. He did not understand what Xiao Yihan meant at all. However, Xiao Yihan did not intend to explain to Lu Mingxiu. He turned around and left with a smile on his face. He was really grateful to Lu Mingxiu. Otherwise, how could he have found such effective healing medicine? Looking at Xiao Yihan's disappearing figure, Lu Mingxiu frowned. His face was full of displeasure. He felt that Xiao Yihan's words must have some deeper meaning. Could it be that there was something special about the cultivator who sold healing medicine on the second floor? He really did not think that such a lowly person was worth paying attention to. However, Xiao Yihan's confident look made him very confused. Could it be that there was something he did not notice? Thinking of this, Lu Mingxiu felt that he had to figure out what the problem was. Otherwise, Xiao Yihan's attempt to cover up would only make things worse. Help me contact the cultivator selling healing medicine on the second floor. I want to see her. Lu Mingxiu walked to the front of the counter and ordered. The woman at the counter was slightly stunned. She did not understand why Lu Mingxiu was suddenly interested in Bailey Hongzhuang. However, she still said, "Young Master Lu, I can help you pass this request to the cultivator on the second floor." However, whether she agrees or not is not something I can control. Lu Mingxiu frowned slightly. If you tell her who I am, does she dare not come to see me? The woman at the counter couldn't help but think of Bailey Hongzhuang's arrogant appearance. She really felt that Bailey Hongzhuang was likely to refuse. After all, when she was discussing the price with Bailey Hongzhuang, she had mentioned Xiao Yihan's name. However, Bailey Hongzhuang did not care at all. In comparison, Xiao Yihan's name was even bigger than Lu Mingxiu's. However, the woman at the counter did not have the courage to say this out loud. Chapter 3068. Just as the woman at the counter was about to head to the second floor, Lu Mingxiu suddenly said, "Wait. Does Mr. Lu have any other orders? You don't need to do this. Continue with your work, but don't tell Xiao Yihan about this." Hearing this, the woman at the counter looked at Lu Mingxiu in confusion, then nodded and said, "Yes." Lu Mingxiu narrowed his eyes. In his opinion, the woman at the counter was obviously biased towards Xiao Yihan. If he relied on her, he might not be able to do this. It was better for him to go personally and find out what Xiao Yihan was up to. When Sweet Dreams saw Lu Mingxiu standing in front of her, she couldn't help but reveal a look of surprise. With Lu Mingxiu's status, it was definitely impossible to see him on the second floor. But what was he doing here at this moment? "Mr. Lu." Sweet Dreams' face quickly revealed a smile. "I'm here to find out more about the cultivators selling healing medicine. I heard that Xiao Yihan bought healing medicine from him. I'm also very interested in this healing medicine." Sweet Dream understood that the reason why Lu Mingxiu had appeared here was to buy healing medicine. In her heart, she was secretly amazed that Bailey Hongzhuang's healing medicine must be very effective, so it attracted people to come and buy it again. "I see." Sweet Dream smiled slightly. "Mr. Xiao did buy another 50 portions of healing medicine yesterday. How many portions do you want to buy?" Sweet Dream was completely unaware of the grudge between Lu Mingxiu and Xiao Yihan. She only thought that Xiao Yihan felt that the healing medicine was very effective, so he told others. Hearing Sweet Dream's words, Lu Mingxiu's eyes couldn't help but flash with a bright light. He didn't expect Xiao Yihan to actually buy another 50 sets of healing medicine from here. Could it be that the effects of the healing medicine were really that good? Is Xiao Yihan still buying the healing medicine at 5 spirit stones per portion? Lu Mingxiu asked again. He remembered very clearly that when he saw the price before, he thought it was very funny. What good things could there be at such a low price? However, such a low price was nothing to Xiao Yihan. Perhaps Xiao Yihan was just in a good mood after winning the competition, so he gave it to this guy. Sweet Dream shook her head and said, "That's not the case. Each batch of healing medicine is sold for 50 spirit stones each." Hearing this, Lu Mingxiu couldn't help but be taken aback. 50 spirit stones per serving? Is this the price Xiao Yihan offered or what? This is the price set by the cultivator who sold it. 5 spirit stones per serving was the price she set when she first sold it. However, before young Master Xiao bought it for the second time, she had already raised the price to 50 spirit stones per serving. This price is much more expensive than ordinary healing medicine. I feel that the effect should be quite good. Otherwise, young Master Xiao would not have bought it again. If young Master Lu is not clear, why don't you ask young Master Xiao? That way, you will have an understanding. Lu Mingxiu waved his hand. No need. Go and inform that cultivator that I want to see him. After receiving this news, Lu Mingxiu suddenly came up with a plan. Chapter 3069. Listening to Lu Mingxiu's words, Sweet Dream couldn't help but say awkwardly, "Young Master Lu, that cultivator said before that if anyone wants to buy healing medicine, just tell me. She will prepare the healing medicine the next day." After interacting with Bailey Hongzhuang during this period of time, she found that Bailey Hongzhuang clearly had no interest in meeting other people. Other than going to the arena area once every 2 days, Bailey Hongzhuang had been cultivating in her room all the time. She had no intention of getting to know anyone at all. Even knowing that Xiao Yihan wanted to buy her healing medicine, Bailey Hongzhuang didn't show any excitement. Lu Mingxiu frowned. Sweet Dream's answer was exactly the same as the woman at the counter before. Was this cultivator so difficult to deal with that even his name didn't work? Go and contact her. Tell her that I want to discuss a big business with her. Let her talk with me face to face. Lu Mingxiu wanted to see what kind of person she was. Besides, what he wanted to discuss was indeed a big business. It was just that this big business couldn't be known by others. I'll go and contact her right now, but I can't guarantee the result. Sweet Dream reminded again. Go, I believe she will definitely come. Lu Mingxiu was full of confidence. All the cultivators who lived on the second floor were often short of money. Once they heard that there was a big business, they would definitely rush over impatiently. Sweet Dream came to Bailey Hongzhuang's door and knocked on the door, but found that no one answered. After knocking several times, there was no response, which made her puzzled. She clearly didn't see Bailey Hongzhuang leave the second floor today. If she wasn't in the room now, then where could she have gone? Young Master Lu, I just went to look for her, but there doesn't seem to be anyone in the room. Sweet Dream's face showed a touch of helplessness. How about I contact her when she comes back? Can I inform you then? Lu Mingxiu's face instantly became ugly. He didn't think of this possibility. You mean she went to the arena area? Should be. All right, let me know when she's back. It was already the second day when Bailey Hongzhuang and the other 3 exited the oceanic world. After staying in the oceanic world for 3 days, when Xiren and Shangguan Yinying had a better understanding of the oceanic world. In that case, we can continue to cultivate in the oceanic world in the future. The results of this cultivation are much better than staying in the house and cultivating bitterly, Xiren said slowly. Everything he had experienced in the past 3 days had made him feel very strange, and he increasingly felt that the effects of cultivating in the oceanic world were very good. Cultivating in this sealed magic training tower was really boring. Now, there was finally a place where he could breathe. Bewitching nodded. As long as we have enough spirit stones, we can stay inside and cultivate. However, I have to come out and see if there are still people who want to buy healing medicine. After all, if I can't sell the healing medicine and earn enough spirit stones, then it won't be so good. Bailey Hongzhuang shrugged her shoulders. Spirit stones were too important to them right now. Chapter 3070. As soon as she opened the door, Bailey Hongzhuang saw a note on the door. Sweet Dream had left a message asking her to go to the counter. Seeing this, Bailey Hongzhuang and the other 3 couldn't help but look at each other. Maybe they had business again. However, Bailey Hongzhuang had a strange feeling in her heart. She felt that everything was not so simple. Xiao Yihan had just bought 50 sets of healing medicine, which was enough for him to use for a while. He wouldn't come back to buy it again. Moreover, with Xiao Yihan's status, he wouldn't be interested in advertising for her. If it were her, she would probably think that it was enough for her to know. There was no need for more people to know. Sweet dream, are you looking for me? Seeing Bailey Hongzhuang coming out of her residence, Sweet Dream's eyes flashed with surprise. She didn't notice that Bailey Hongzhuang had come back from the arena area today. Could it be that Bailey Hongzhuang had been in the room all this time? Young Master D, young Master Lu Mingxiu from the 15th floor came to look for you today, but I went to your residence to look for you, but there was no response. Sweet Dream said tentatively. Hearing this, Bailey Hongzhuang nodded. I was cultivating in seclusion today and didn't notice the movements outside. I'm like this when I'm focused on cultivation. You don't have to be surprised. I see. Sweet Dream then understood. Many cultivators didn't like to be disturbed when they were cultivating, so they would use Yuan Qi to seal their ears so that they couldn't hear the voices of others. Young Master D, if you want to cultivate without being disturbed in the future, you can hang a "Do Not Disturb" sign in front of the door. Then we won't disturb you. I know. Bailey Hongzhuang nodded lightly. You said Lu Mingxiu was looking for me? I don't seem to know him. He came after hearing the news of the healing medicine. I told him that if he needed to buy healing medicine, he could tell me directly. However, he said that he wanted to discuss a big business with you and asked me to contact you to talk to him face to face. Bailey Hongzhuang frowned. She didn't know why, but she sensed a conspiracy in this situation. Sweet Dream, do you know what his relationship with Xiao Yihan is like? Bailey Hongzhuang asked. Sweet Dream was slightly stunned, then she shook her head. I only know that young Master Lu knows about you because of young Master Xiao, but I don't know about the relationship between the two of them. Can you do me a favor and find out about the relationship between the two of them? Bailey Hongzhuang took out a few spirit stones and placed them on the counter. Young Master D, this is just a small favor. I'll find out after asking around. You don't have to be so polite. Of course. Bailey Hongzhuang smiled faintly. Then wait for me for a moment. I'll go to the counter on the 15th floor to ask and I'll tell you the result. All right. After Sweet Dream left, Xiaobai couldn't help but ask, Master, don't you plan to meet Lu Mingxiu personally? Let's see if he's a friend or a foe before making a decision. Bailey Hongzhuang slowly said. You think that Lu Mingxiu is a foe and not a friend? Xiao He quickly asked. If he's only here to buy healing medicine, then no matter how big the business is, he can just tell Sweet Dream the quantity. However, he must talk to me personally. There are some problems with this. Xiao Yihan bought medicinal pills from me twice, but he didn't ask to see me either. Chapter 3071. Bailey Hongzhuang's ink-black phoenix eyes flickered with wisdom. Although they had not had much contact with other people after coming to Demon Refining Island, she had always understood the twists and turns of people's hearts. Then why does Lu Mingxiu want to see you? Xiao He was puzzled. I don't understand. If I'm not wrong, there should be a conflict between Lu Mingxiu and Xiao Yihan. Lu Mingxiu wants to find trouble with Xiao Yihan through me, a third party. Other than that, there shouldn't be any other reasonable explanation. Although it was only a guess, Bailey Hongzhuang was very certain that it was very likely the truth. But Master, we're not considered friends with Xiao Yihan. Don't you want to know more about this big deal? Xiao He blinked. To them, the most important thing was to earn spirit stones. As for who they earned it from, they shouldn't care. Hearing this, Bailey Hongzhuang shook her head and said, if my cultivation had reached the 5th level of the Purple Realm, then I wouldn't mind finding out what kind of deal this is. The other party comes from the upper echelons and is stronger than me. In addition, he insists on discussing a deal with me. If I don't agree, he will definitely fall out with me. This demon refining tower has never stopped cultivators from fighting. I don't want to put myself in a dangerous situation. She was very interested in spirit stones. It was just that she was not interested in spirit stones that brought trouble. In that case, this Lu Mingxiu is very dangerous. After Bailey Hongzhuang's explanation, Xiao He and Xiao Bai also understood. It was better for them to stay away from this kind of guy. Sweet Dream's speed was very fast, and it didn't take long for her to return. When she looked at Bailey Hongzhuang again, her face showed a trace of embarrassment. Seeing this, Bailey Hongzhuang already understood the result. Young Master D, I've just received news that young Master Lu and young Master Xiao don't have a good relationship. 2 days ago, they had an arena battle, and young Master Xiao won. And part of the reason why young Master Xiao won was related to your healing medicine. As for why young Master Lu came to look for you this time, I'm not sure. Xiao He and Xiao Bai looked at each other. They really admired their master more and more. She had actually guessed all of this. Bailey Hongzhuang smiled faintly and said, I know. I'll have to trouble you to tell that young Master Lu that I'm not interested in this big business. According to the rules of the Devil Training Tower, you shouldn't have revealed my identity to him, right? Sweet Dream hurriedly waved her hand and said, that won't happen. We keep the identities of all the cultivators who sell things a secret. Unless you voluntarily announce your identity, we definitely won't reveal it. Even young Master Xiao only knows that you are a cultivator on the 2nd floor, but he has no idea who you are. That's good. Only then did Bailey Hongzhuang feel more at ease. She had no interest in getting involved in the other party's battle. She only wanted to earn some spirit stones in peace. I'll have to trouble you. You might have to help me deal with some trouble. Sweet Dream's pretty face blushed and hurriedly said, no, this is what I should do. Chapter 3072. After Bailey Hongzhuang returned to the room, she looked at Bewitching and the other two who were quite expectant of her. She spread her hands and said, I'm sorry to disappoint you. He's not here to buy healing medicine. He might be here to cause trouble, so I refused. Hearing this, Bewitching and the other two looked at each other with some doubts. We haven't offended anyone. Who would come to cause trouble for you? The opponent of young Master Xiao who bought my healing medicine. Suddenly, Bewitching and the other two understood. It's better to refuse this kind of thing directly. In our current situation, it's better for us to keep a low profile and cultivate. In half a month, we should be able to break through to the 4th level of the Purple Realm. Xiren said slowly. Bailey Hongzhuang nodded lightly. Before breaking through to the 5th level of the Purple Realm, let's cultivate in peace. I'll think of another way to earn spirit stones. She believed that as long as the effect of her healing medicine was spread, there would be a lot of business soon. However, she valued the improvement of her strength more, so she didn't put all her focus on selling healing medicine. No, we'll do the same as before. Although it will waste some time, it will still be a steady improvement. Shangguan Yingying said. What's the point of thinking so much? Anyway, we still have enough spirit stones. Let's go to the oceanic world first. Bailey Hongzhuang said with a smile. Looking at Bailey Hongzhuang who didn't care about it, Xiren and Shangguan Yingying felt a little embarrassed. If these spirit stones were only used to maintain Bailey Hongzhuang and Bewitching's consumption, it would be able to last for a long time. However, with the addition of the two of them, the time would be shortened by a lot. However, whether it was Bailey Hongzhuang or Bewitching, they had never cared about this, which made them even more touched. When Lu Mingxiu found out that Bailey Hongzhuang had refused to see him, he couldn't react for a moment. You said she refused? Lu Mingxiu raised his voice, clearly unable to accept this result. Sweet Dream nodded and said cautiously, she said that she's only interested in selling healing medicines. Apart from that, she has no other skills. If Master Lu needs healing medicines, she'll welcome you with open arms. If it's any other business, I'm afraid she won't be able to help much. Lu Mingxiu's heart quivered when he heard this. The other party's words made him feel as if the other party had seen through him and even guessed his plans. This was not a good feeling. Does she know who I am? Even if we can't reach an agreement, she doesn't even want to see me. Isn't that a little too arrogant? After being rebuffed one after another, Lu Mingxiu couldn't help but get angry. It was one thing for Xiao Yihan to treat him like this, but the other party was just a cultivator who lived on the 2nd floor and dared to treat him like this. How hateful! Does he even know who I am? How dare he reject me? He's courting death. Sweet Dream was also frightened by Lu Mingshu's sudden roar. She quickly said, "Young Master Lu, this? I can't do anything about it." But Lu Mingshu slapped the counter. "Since he dares to not give me face, I'll let him know the consequences of offending me. Doesn't he want to earn spirit stones by selling healing medicines? I'll make sure that he can't sell a single portion of his healing medicines." Sweet Dream panicked when she heard this and said, "Young Master Lu, I'm afraid this isn't very appropriate, right?" Chapter 3073. The next day, a piece of news shocked all the cultivators in the demon training tower. Lu Mingshu actually went against a cultivator on the second floor and declared that whoever dared to buy the healing medicine from the cultivator on the second floor would be his enemy. This caused the originally unknown Bailey Hongzhuang to suddenly become famous. No one had noticed that there was actually a cultivator selling healing medicine on the second floor. However, there were some cultivators who had noticed this news before. After Lu Mingshu's declaration, everyone couldn't help but pay attention to it. When they discovered that the healing medicine that Bailey Hongzhuang was selling was actually 50 spirit stones per set, everyone shook their heads and didn't have any good impression of Bailey Hongzhuang. Do you guys think that Lu Mingshu was cheated by number 18 on the second floor? 50 spirit stones per set. Even if it was a doctor selling healing medicine, it would only be 40 spirit stones. Who knows, this number 18 on the second floor is just an ordinary cultivator. She actually dared to offend Lu Mingshu. She really has guts. In my opinion, that cultivator should be regretting it now. After Lu Mingshu's declaration, how can she still sell her healing medicine? That's true. However, to be honest, after such a commotion, I'm really curious about the effects of that healing medicine. I really can't think of a reason why Lu Mingshu would go against a cultivator on the second floor. I think so too. It's a pity that Lu Mingshu has already spread the word. Who dares to buy it and try it? For a moment, the entire demon training tower was discussing about the cultivator on the second floor. However, after such a rumor, everyone realized that there were so many people in the demon training tower, but no one knew who the cultivator on the second floor was. This discovery shocked everyone. As long as it was a cultivator who lived in the demon training tower, as long as they had participated in the arena competition, it wouldn't be that they didn't know who the cultivator was. However, no one knew who this person was. This was really strange. When Lu Mingshu saw that his declaration had caused such a sensation, he was extremely satisfied in his heart. He wanted to let everyone know what the consequences of offending him, Lu Mingshu. He wanted to see if Bailey Hongzhuang would regret it now. Just as everyone was talking about Bailey Hongzhuang, the main character of the incident was fighting fiercely with the monsters in the ocean world, completely unaware of what was happening outside. Bailey Hongzhuang and the other three had been cultivating in the oceanic world. They had already adapted to life in the oceanic world. Before the spirit stones were used up, they had no intention of leaving. However, Bailey Hongzhuang and the others were simply too exhausted today. All the energy in their bodies had been completely squeezed dry. They just wanted to have a good rest. Back in the house, the four of them held spirit stones in their hands and absorbed the essence energy. The sea world's monster beasts are too abnormal. I feel that their numbers have been increasing recently. If we hadn't been teleported out, I really don't know if we would have survived. Shangguan Yingying gasped for breath, her face full of emotion. When Xiren smiled faintly. Speaking of which, our luck is pretty good. We were teleported out at the last moment. Chapter 3074. Speaking of which, Baisher has the fastest breakthrough speed among us. Shangguan Yingying couldn't help but look at Baisher. Ever since she found out that Baisher didn't need to cultivate and only needed to eat enough demon crystals to increase its cultivation, she felt envious. Others had to pay a high price to cultivate a contract beast with a high cultivation level. In contrast, Bailey Hongzhuang only needed to have enough money to cultivate Baisher. Although this was a huge sum of money, it wasn't difficult for Bailey Hongzhuang to complete all of this with her ability. Moreover, there were so many demon beasts in this small world. Just Bailey Hongzhuang and Di Beichen had obtained a lot of demon crystals from killing demon beasts in the process of training. Now, none of them had broken through to the 4th level of the Purple Realm. Instead, Baisher was the first to break through to the 4th level of the Purple Realm. This cultivation speed was really enviable. Bailey Hongzhuang looked at Baisher, who was eating happily, and a smile appeared on her face. Baisher is blessed by nature in terms of cultivation. I'm afraid we can't be envious. Speaking of which, the demon crystals in this oceanic world seem to be very rich in energy, so Baisher's cultivation speed has increased. Di Beichen pondered and said slowly. Bailey Hongzhuang nodded slightly. I also noticed this. This oceanic world is really a good place. Otherwise, if we were to stay in the demon training tower, our cultivation would be able to increase, but Baisher would have a hard time. Ever since Lu Mingxiu announced that no one was allowed to buy Bailey Hongzhuang's healing medicine, Sweet Dream couldn't help but feel anxious. She never thought that Lu Mingxiu's approach would be so extreme. Wasn't this completely cutting off Bailey Hongzhuang's source of income? She had always wanted to inform Bailey Hongzhuang, but unfortunately, there was a "Do Not Disturb" sign hanging in front of Bailey Hongzhuang's door, indicating that she was still in a state of cultivation. This made Sweet Dream even more anxious. She couldn't imagine that Bailey Hongzhuang would be in closed-door cultivation for such a long time. At this moment, Sweet Dream tried her luck and came to take a look, but found that the "Do Not Disturb" sign had been put away. Her eyes suddenly brightened, and she quickly knocked on the door. "Young Master D, you're finally out of seclusion." Bailey Hongzhuang looked at the anxious expression on Sweet Dream's face and couldn't help but ask, "What happened?" "Something bad has happened. After you refused to meet young Master Lu, he flew into a rage and directly declared that no one is allowed to buy your healing medicine. Otherwise, you'll become his enemy. Recently, many people have been paying attention to you, and many people have come to me to inquire about you. However, I haven't revealed any information about you, but I'm afraid it will be very difficult for you to sell healing medicines in the future," Sweet Dream said with a frown. In her opinion, Bailey Hongzhuang had finally found a way to make money, but Lu Mingxiu had forcibly blocked it. In the future, her days in the demon training tower would probably be even more difficult. Hearing Sweet Dream's words, Bailey Hongzhuang's eyes also revealed a trace of coldness. This Lu Mingxiu was truly arrogant. She just didn't want to wallow in the mire with him. Speaking of which, it could be said that the two of them didn't even know each other, and he actually cut off her source of income. Wasn't this a bit too ruthless? "Young Master D, what do you plan to do?" Sweet Dream couldn't help but ask. This was a big matter. Chapter 3075. Seeing that Bailey Hongzhuang didn't show any signs of anger, and instead remained calm, Sweet Dream was a little surprised. Could it be that she was mistaken? "It's fine, it's only right for me to inform you." After Sweet Dream left, Bailey Hongzhuang's face darkened. "If others don't offend me, I won't offend them." This Lu Mingxiu was obviously relying on his strength to despise her to the extreme. He wanted to use this method to make her lower her head? Wasn't this a little too laughable? Di Beichen and the others in the room also heard the conversation between Sweet Dream and Bailey Hongzhuang, and their faces immediately turned ugly. They didn't want to offend anyone, but there was always someone who came looking for trouble. It really made them unhappy. "Hongzhuang, the road to selling healing medicine is blocked. Let's continue to the arena area." Shengguan Ying was the first to speak. She was also very unhappy with Lu Mingxiu's actions, but with their current strength, they were obviously no match for Lu Mingxiu, so they could only endure for now. "That guy is so despicable. If we let him have his way, who knows how arrogant he'll become in the future." Di Beichen's eyes were gloomy and unhappy. If he didn't teach Lu Mingxiu a lesson, he really wouldn't be able to take it lying down. Thinking of his own insufficient strength, the unhappiness in Di Beichen's heart became more and more intense. If his strength could be a little stronger, then there would be no need to let Bailey Hongzhuang suffer such grievances. Bailey Hongzhuang smiled and said, "Actually, this isn't a big deal, there's no need to be so anxious. Lu Mingxiu said that whoever dares to buy my healing medicine will become his enemy, so I won't sell any more healing medicine." Hearing Bailey Hongzhuang's words, Bewitching and the other two revealed a look of surprise. Giving in so easily didn't seem to match Bailey Hongzhuang's personality. "I'll give it to you for free." Bailey Hongzhuang's eyebrows slightly raised, and her charming face was filled with a mischievous and sly smile. She didn't believe that Lu Mingxiu had reached the level of being able to control everything in the demon training tower. Everyone listened to him only because there was no need to offend him, and also because they didn't have any expectations for the healing medicine. However, healing medicine was something that the cultivators of the demon training tower needed the most. If someone was willing to give it to them for free, then 10 people would be tempted. Moreover, originally, everyone had never paid attention to a cultivator on the second floor like her. Now, after Lu Mingxiu's announcement, almost everyone began to pay attention to her. This effect was not something she could achieve by herself. In the end, the person of his own face of the demon training of his words would be slapped, and his S's of demons of S of the tower. Of that, of course, of that threat. Is S of her to of her of them to the dream. Sheet of to do so. This move was brilliant. With their current strength, they were indeed unable to compete with Lu Mingxiu directly, but in terms of intelligence, they weren't lacking in the slightest. They could still afford to lose some healing medicine. Xiao He, Xiao Bai, and Bai Shi all revealed furious expressions. The other party was really going too far. If they could take this opportunity to strike back at Lu Mingxiu, that would be excellent. Chapter 3076. A cultivator had suffered a very serious injury while participating in the arena. The wound was bleeding nonstop, and it was very likely to be life-threatening. At this moment, he took out a bottle of healing medicine from his heaven-earth bag and sprinkled it directly on the wound. Immediately after, everyone was surprised to find that the bleeding on his body stopped very quickly, and the huge wound began to scab continuously. This discovery made everyone's eyes widen. They were all people who often used healing medicine, so they were very clear about the effects of healing medicine. Logically speaking, such an effect would only appear on healing medicinal pills. Ordinary healing medicine would not be able to achieve such an effect at all. However, the healing medicine that this cultivator took out had such an effect. How could this not be surprising? For a moment, many people began to ask this cultivator where he bought this healing medicine. Compared to the high price of healing medicinal pills, most cultivators still used healing medicine more. If there was a healing medicine that had an effect comparable to healing medicinal pills, it would be great. However, faced with everyone's questions, the cultivator's face revealed an awkward expression. He stuttered and did not say where the healing medicine came from. Coincidentally, Xiao Yihan was passing by the arena area. After seeing this scene, he quickly recognized the white porcelain bottle in the cultivator's hand. It was exactly the same as the healing medicine that Bailey Hongzhuang sold to him. For it to have such an effect, there was no other possibility other than this. He could not help but recall the first time he bought Bailey Hongzhuang's healing medicine. There was a bottle that was taken away by someone else, so he only got 9 bottles. Now, it seemed that this bottle should be the one that was taken away at that time. He also heard Lu Mingxiu's threat. As long as he thought carefully, he could also figure out the problem. However, although he was very interested in Bailey Hongzhuang's healing medicine, he did not need to specially help Bailey Hongzhuang solve this problem. Lu Mingxiu's style of doing things was like this, but he was not. Now that he saw such an opportunity, he didn't mind telling the truth to help Bailey Hongzhuang get out of trouble. Most importantly, this was a good opportunity to deal with Lu Mingxiu. This healing medicine came from the cultivator on the second floor. I also bought my healing medicine from her. It's very effective, Xiao Yihan said slowly. Following Xiao Yihan's words, all the cultivators present were stunned. Their eyes were filled with astonishment. Everyone couldn't help but look at the cultivator in the ring. He didn't refute either, but his expression was a little awkward, but he didn't dare to say anything. Just by looking at his expression, everyone understood. No wonder this cultivator did not dare to reveal the origin of this healing medicine. It must be because he was afraid of offending Lu Mingxiu. However, Xiao Yihan and Lu Mingxiu were sworn enemies to begin with. Naturally, he would not be afraid of Lu Mingxiu, so he directly revealed where he came from. Previously, I couldn't understand why Lu Mingxiu would be at odds with a cultivator who sold healing medicine on the second floor. Now that Xiao Yihan said this, I kind of understand. The conflict between Lu Mingxiu and Xiao Yihan must have affected that cultivator. Didn't you hear Xiao Yihan say that his healing medicine was bought on the second floor? Chapter 3077. Previously, I thought that the price of 50 spirit stones was too expensive. But now that I've seen the effects of this healing medicine, I feel that this price is very normal. It's not expensive at all. Yeah, the effects of this healing medicine are comparable to healing pills, but the price is 30 spirit stones cheaper. It's a lot more worth it. I really didn't expect the effects of this healing medicine to be so good. Even I'm a bit tempted. If I wasn't worried about offending Lu Mingxiu, I would have gone to buy some too. All of a sudden, all of the cultivators started to discuss the healing medicine again. If it was said that everyone was talking about the conflict between Lu Mingxiu and number 18 on the second floor 2 days ago, now everyone had shifted their focus to the effects of the healing medicine. To them, nothing else was important. The effects of the healing medicine were the most important. Such a good healing medicine was enough to move many people's hearts. After Lu Mingxiu's announcement and Xiao Yihan's clarification, no matter what the final result was, number 18 on the second floor and the healing medicine had completely entered everyone's line of sight. At the very least, there was no one in the Devil Training Tower who didn't know about it. Although there were many people in the Devil Training Tower who were intimidated by Lu Mingxiu's tyranny, there were also many people who were not afraid of Lu Mingxiu. Previously, they did not buy the healing medicine because they did not believe in the effects of this healing medicine. Now that they knew that this healing medicine was so worth it, they naturally did not mind buying a few sets. The same effect but could save 30 spirit stones. No one would complain about having too many spirit stones. This kind of transaction was undoubtedly worth it. Bailey Hongzhuang made a lot of healing medicine. She wanted to use the effects of her own healing medicine to defeat Lu Mingxiu. On this night, not only her, Bewitching, Wen Ziren, Shangguan Yingying, Xiao He, and Xiao Bai were all helping her make the healing medicine. Although they were not clear about the exact amount and method of making the medicine, there was no problem for them to help grind the ingredients. With their help, Bailey Hongzhuang's speed of making the healing medicine was also very fast. After an entire night, Bailey Hongzhuang had already made a huge amount of healing medicine. In any case, she still had plenty of medicinal ingredients in her primordial chaos ring. She didn't mind throwing out money to slap the other party's face. Hongzhuang, as long as we start selling the healing medicine for free today, as long as someone takes it, Lu Mingxiu will definitely hate us to the extreme, and the conflict will be even greater. Before Bailey Hongzhuang was about to leave, Shangguan Yingying could not help reminding her. Bailey Hongzhuang smiled. Anyway, he's in the light while we're in the dark. Even if we completely offend him, he might not be able to recognize us when we stand in front of him. Isn't that good? She really liked the system of the magic training tower. It was very effective in protecting them. Well done. Shangguan Yingying gave him a thumbs up. Let's piss him off. Bailey Hongzhuang opened the door. Just as she was about to step out, she saw that Sweet Dream had already appeared in front of her. Sweet Dream raised her right hand and was obviously about to knock on the door. Bailey Hongzhuang opened the door. Sweet Dream. Bailey Hongzhuang was a little surprised. Did something happen again? Young Master D, I'm here to tell you a piece of good news. Sweet Dream's cheeks were red, and her face was filled with excitement. You're tuning in to the Passion Pages YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.